Jaber was even talking about your niece has a friend that apparently, if you don't have the right kind of phone, you're not right to date her.
Oh, she claims that, and a lot of girls have this. She goes out with this guy, okay? They have a pretty good date, but he's got an old, broke-down phone. I guess he doesn't have apps on it. It is so old and low budget. And she said she judged him so hard, it was a turnoff. And because of his phone, he wasn't getting date number 2. And I thought that was so shallow.
Yeah.
Isn't that shallow?
I get it.
You get it?
I'm shallow.
You judge a man on his phone?
I mean, I would be like, okay, this guy is not moving and shaking. This guy is not even up on technology.
Yeah.
This guy can't even, like, get a simple app. That tells me that he's not in the game, baby.
So
Do you want a guy that's not in the game?
I don't know. Does that mean you're not in the game of life because your phone doesn't have cool apps? You're a phone snob.
If he's an old guy, I get it because it's his generation. But if he's a younger guy and he doesn't have apps and he doesn't have a smartphone and he's not in the game, that is a turnoff. Now, I don't know about date number 2. If he was cute, if we had chemistry, I might still do date number 2. But
there's judgmental eyes right there.
There probably wasn't that much chemistry, and you put on top of that he had a weak ass phone, and she's like, "Nah, I'm out."
This is the thing.
It just depends upon, where you're set. I mean, there just are. I mean, like it or not, yeah, you would want somebody to be like, I want a man who's nice and strong and considerate. I don't care about his phone, and that's all good. That's fine. But I do know that, especially in South Florida, you're going to see this a lot, that women, they want a guy that looks like he's got it together. He's a power player. He's a guy that is going to be a provider. Yeah.
He's going to work as hard as I'm going to work.
A lot of times that's more exciting. And I know, for instance, I talk to a lot of women, and they look at shoes or belt or things like that. So, yeah. If dude's got a broke down phone or whatnot, unless he's got a handler, he's got the broke down. They'll say that's cool. You got a handler that has the phone, and you got a broke down phone yourself. That's a complete turn on.
If he's got a handler,
right.
I've got a lady boner. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A handler? That means you have a personal assistant?
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
There's no handler involved here.
And I get it. A lot of people are like, this is shallow, that's shallow. You don't want to be with that person anyway. I get it. You're right.
It is shallow.
When we break it down to the X's and O's of life and how it should be, you're right. You should never do that. It's terrible. It's horrible. I'm sorry, though. That's just the way it goes for a lot of people.
Okay, if you're in the dating world and you had a first date with a girl and it went well and she had a broke down phone, is that a deal breaker for you?
Not for me. Not for me. No, I mean, that's not the kind of stuff that's big for me. But I am aware that, for some, it is a big deal. And personally, probably I wouldn't really want to be with somebody that is going to be like, he's got a broke down phone. I don't want to be with him. Because for me, I would be more dialed into somebody that is a little bit,
You would never have a broke down phone, though, because you're a hustler. You're out there trying to make money.
Yeah,
that's impressive to us ladies. I'm just telling you how it is.
But you're saying that you're making all of these assumptions just based on his phone. You have no idea if this guy is a mover, a motivator. Just because he's got a broke down phone, judge the man on his heart, not his technology.
And that's ultimately, that's the way that it should be. But as Virginia's saying,
fantasy land.
And the way that it is. And, here's what happens. When you present yourself to anybody, and it's not just a possible, date interest, it's a professional thing, just meeting friends, whatever it is, you send off a vibe. People are always kind of putting together an equation of whatever you are. And, a broke down phone a lot of times sends other signals, and somebody's texting in. Probably means he's broke. Could be a big issue. He's got other side issues that might go on, because if that's dysfunctional, are there other parts of his life that are dysfunctional? I'm like going, okay.
Wow.
If you get to know somebody, though, in the next layer, you're going, man, they're a great person. And ultimately, I don't care what their phone is, because I know what they're all about. But first impressions, and if you're like, it's important to me to have somebody that seems like they've got it together, then, what you got for your phone will send off a first impression radar for people.
When I say broke down phone, I don't want you to think it was broken looking. It just was an old phone to the point where it was old school. That's what I mean by broke down.
Old school, like a flip phone?
It was old. Like, he doesn't like to make a bunch of payments. He's not into the smartphone thing. I don't know. I totally disagree with the witch on this one.
I don't know. I would really have to see what he's got going on. I really want to judge him based on everything.
His looks.
His look, his shoes, his style, his car,
but
his
on the
job.
on the flip side of this, though, you, the person with the broke down phone, can totally judge the person who's judging you for the phone you have, saying,
Sure.
yeah, then you can look at it and be like, okay, this is a person that is going to really care about what kind of job you have, what kind of car you're driving, what your clothes look like, what your phone's all about. And there's going to be an additional pressure to just a relationship in and of itself, that if any of these things fall by the wayside, it's going to be tough to keep your relationship going because all of these things are so important to them.
Oh gosh, yeah, nightmare of a person to date.
You're not compatible. You're just not compatible. And that's
Right.
what dating is for. I know I'm hustling over here. I don't want some deadweight guy that don't even have a modern phone. He's not hustling.
You are.
I want somebody to match me.
You are so you want someone extraordinarily shallow.
Yes.
Okay.
And hustling.
Somebody said, just to let you know, Virginia, I'm on my third job this week and I've already made $2,600. How much money have you made this week?
Do they have an old phone?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got
And my
this,
phone cost me $80.
You've got this
So
thing.
ha.
If you don't have a smartphone, you're not hustling. That's just not true.
Look, I would just have to see this whole guy's game. Put him in front of me and let me check him out. If he's a young guy without a smartphone, I'm like, huh? Looking sideways.
All right.
You know, and people are texting in too saying, look, there's people with a lot of money, don't drive a fancy car, don't have a fancy phone, all this kind of stuff. And you're right, they definitely do. That somebody probably puts it in the bank or has in investments. But I know some of these girls around here, they be going, why you not have a fancy car if you got money? Why you not have fancy clothes if you got money? Why don't you have a fancy house if you got money? And you're right.
I agree with those girls.
Well,
Oh, take your act to Palm Beach.
Why
Right,
can't
and that's just what I'm saying. On the flip side of it, though, judge that girl and say, I don't want to be with one of these girls. There's plenty of guys out there that are going to try to put on the act and let them have their little song and dance together in their dysfunctional life that's all based on what they drive and what they have on their phone.
Absolutely. You're
Yes.
not a match.
You're not a match. Yeah, it's sad
Now
to
walk
say.
on by in your cheap shoes.
Welcome to life, and especially South Florida. It's just the way of the world.
Well, very eye-opening.
yes, very eye-opening.